Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert. I'm the host of the Business Awards show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Businesswoman Awards and the Best SME Awards. And today I'm really pleased to be joined by Carmel Saulbrey. Carmel's journey is a powerful one. After building a successful photography business and being recognised as the most inspiring businesswoman in 2019 at the Best Businesswomen Awards, she made the decision to step in a completely new direction. She now runs two children's residential care homes where she works at the heart of some of the most challenging and most important moments in young people's lives. Through that hands-on experience, Carmel saw a real gap, particularly for newer staff who have the training and knowledge, but haven't yet had the chance to practice those in a high-pressure, real-life environment. That's what led her to create the Kindness Code, a practical approach designed to help staff build confidence, develop instinctive responses, and feel more prepared where it matters most. Carmel brings a unique combination of business experience, creativity, and real world insights into care. So I'm really looking forward to talking to her today. So, Carmel, it's a great pleasure to have you here. We haven't seen each other for a number of years, and what a pivot, what a change. So, we have to start at the beginning, Carmel, and find out what happened. Why have you bought children's homes?
Um, Lovely to see you again too. It's been 7 years since I won that,
Yes.
which is kind of one of those scary time lapse thing that's gone so quickly. Yeah, I had the large school photography company. It was going really well. Just over 2 years ago, someone half bought the business, and the deal was, he was going to run it, and I was going to do 1 day a week. And I lived my dream life, playing tennis. I did all the ITF masters. It was kind of a fantasy life. And I loved it, but I got bored, and it made me realize I think we all need a purpose in life, and it wasn't enough for me. And then last January, I was not the one gone, the one before, I was at home in New Zealand, spending time with mum and dad. And then someone rang me as a business colleague and said, I've got an opportunity in Solvent, two care homes. He said, you put the money in, I'll run them. It will be great. So that happened in 7 days. Top tip, don't buy insolvent companies and don't do it in 7 days. That's another thing. So I came back and insolvent companies are insolvent for a reason, you know.
Mm.
Um, and then after about 6 weeks, one of the staff members reached out to me, and I went in the homes and listened to all the staff and cried with them literally because it'd been such a difficult journey for them. And then realized that things had to change. And it started one of the most challenging years of my life.
Wow. So, how many children are being looked after in these care homes, and what sort of age group are they?
So children's residential care homes are just homes, they're not
Mm.
big institutions. So
No.
we've got two homes with 4 beds each. We currently only have 5 children because you've got to get all the matching right, because you might have three great kids who are doing well, and then one comes in, and so it's quite a
Mm.
it is a really difficult situation. But they're just homes, so they're two 4-bed homes, and
Oh. And what's that transition been like for you going from running a photography business to this? I mean, it's a completely different industry, isn't it?
it is completely different. I was actually motivated by thinking it would be. I've always loved what I've loved about being an entrepreneur is being an employer and making people's lives different by being a decent employer. When I had the school photography company and I had a new GM a few years ago, and she said, Carmel, everyone's on different contracts. I said, yeah, but they've got all different lives, they've got different needs. So um, so I thought, oh, I did actually think it'd be all women because we were all girls at that stage in the homes. But actually, there's lots of kind, beautiful, lovely men doing amazing work in care, and these kids need to see what good men look like. So
Mm.
I thought, oh, I can. I got involved thinking it's big frontline teams, but like photography, doing quite a challenging job. It's about systems, processes, and training. So it kind of aligned with my idea of giving back, doing good for the kids, but also being a really, really good employer. So it felt extremely different. It felt like there's similarities. Turns out it is really tough. Working in care is really tough. You can't measure your success because it's only like reduced incidences, but actually the children come from some of the saddest lives. It's just utterly heartbreaking. It's all different. And the care team are doing their best, but sometimes they just, all the stuff inside the kids, all the emotion gets too much.
Mm.
So it's exhausting, and for the people in the front line. And it also attracts people with some of their own stuff. Like, they've people were giving back. It's just humbling, Debbie, coming from kind of a corporate world. And there's people who work in probably lots of different health sectors, but in care are just deeply kind people who want to make a difference. It's
Yeah,
quite different. And it's
which is
beautiful at the same
amazing.
time.
No, I mean, it must be really rewarding. And it's like your business journey has been a long trajectory, really. From winning that award a few years ago, and you'd also won other awards, hadn't you, at the time?
Mhm.
You'd won photography awards. Um,
Can I just say, Debbie, your one was my favourite, Most Inspiring
oh,
Businesswoman.
oh, we always love it when people say that.
Well, it was kind of because I think I probably have been, people said, oh, you're inspirational. And I think a lot of it was around me wanting to be a decent employer and me wanting to make a difference to
Yeah.
people's lives. So yeah, I did love it. And you put the best do on, Debbie, just between you and I.
Thank you. No, that means a lot. That actually means a lot because for me, it is about the experience when people come along to the event and that they actually feel they've been recognized for the work that they've been doing. And you'd had a long, long time working, with children in dance schools, hadn't you? That was your niche. You did the photography for dance schools and you did it really well. But Carmel, you've always come across as a very strategic and organized businesswoman, which I think was the thing that caught the judge's eye, which is why you won the Most Inspiring Businesswoman, because that's what that's all about. So I'm guessing you've brought that experience to this new venture of yours. Um, and then reading about the kindness code that you have devised is another thing that doesn't surprise me about you because you've seen a need and you've created something. So talk a little bit about the kindness code and what that's all about.
So actually, the care homes, because it's all Ofsted regulated, and we talk about working on the business, not in it. Like I
Mm,
couldn't go in, I couldn't roll my sleeves up and go, oh, I'm going to run the homes for a couple of weeks if something's happened. Like I literally legally unallowed to. And so I had to step back and I have to put the right people in the right seats. And then I saw a need. So these beautiful, kind people come in wanting to do a good job.
mm,
There's so many situations like the children can just dysregulate or they don't want to get out of bed. So there's small dysregulations and there's
mm,
quite large ones. Like sometimes they'll smash windows or
mm,
self-harm. Like it's quite full on.
mm.
So all these lovely people coming in, and of course you can't fake a self-harm or a
No.
dysregulation situation. You can't make that happen. So I thought, how about I went to a seminar actually talking about AI, thinking, oh, we care, we can't do AI.
Mm,
And then something in my head, I thought, well, what if we can recreate these scenarios? So it's a web-based training app. And so the AI agent is a child who will talk back to them. And depending on what you say will depend on what the child will say. So we've created all these different scenarios so that it's all able to sit in a classroom and learn about therapeutic care and how you're going to be kind and you're going to use the different models and all the rest of it. But actually, at 10 o'clock at night, when you've done a 12-hour shift and you're exhausted and a child is screaming at you, it's quite difficult to remember everything that you learned in the classroom. And so this way is a way of, we're not taking away from the in-person training, but it's a way of embedding it
mm,
into the thing. So, and what we've found is we've done it internally, and everyone's going, we've had a bunch of new people. They feel more confident on shift. We've actually had fewer incidences, and it's like, oh wow, this is really working. It's not taking away from the real life, but it's giving more confidence and practicing using the language because when a child is dysregulating, I might be telling you to go away in stronger words than that. It's difficult to remember to use the kind language that we've been taught. So it's really working now. Now it's starting to roll it out. It never thought I'd be a SaaS developer and founder, but it's happened now, and really, really excited about it.
So you've developed an app, and are you able to roll this out to other organizations so they can use it?
Yeah, and we're hoping starting to do demos in the next week or two. It's actually just making sure the AI part of it's working, but all the back end, the
Yeah.
management so we can set up for the homes. So yeah, it's been quite a journey. And so I'm still running the care home side of things, but I've just put an MD in place, so that should take some of that pressure off. But I think because I wasn't in the business, I had to work on the business. It
Yeah.
frees up brain space to have ideas. And I'm a bit of a problem solver. I love new ideas. I love the shiny and new. And I think because I had to take an outside view looking in, that's helped with the entrepreneurial creative thinking because I'm not getting bogged down by the day to day.
And I think also, you're bringing your own insights into an industry which is really difficult and has been for not just 10 years, 20 years, but hundreds of years. I mean, this is a long-standing problem of children who find themselves without a home. Where are they going to go? How are they going to be looked after? And probably you coming along to this industry is going to help bring these fresh insights where you're looking at it from a slightly different point of view, aren't you? Because you're not your brain isn't muddied with other sort of things where you've worked in the children's care sector for many, many years, and you know where people get ingrained into something, don't
Mhm.
they? And then they can't see the wood from the trees. So, do you think you're bringing fresh insights into this industry?
Absolutely. It was really funny when the school photography company and the guy that bought it would ask, I say, no, 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 we've done that, it doesn't work. And he just kept being really curious and just asking loads of questions. And so when I went to the care institute, and I know nothing. There's people with all sorts of letters after their name, and I kind of know I know very little. I think I kind of innately am kind
Mm.
and I understand how it works, but I know I don't really know stuff. And so I said to my team, I said, I'm going to ask loads of questions, ask loads of suggestions, and you're allowed to tell me why they don't work. And I might ask you 10, I might ask you 100, but one or two might be absolute gems that change things. And it has turned out that that's happened because I had to be curious. I had to ask loads of questions. And actually, it was Neil who bought the photography company said, be curious, not critical. It's
Mm.
actually very much uh, aligned with therapeutic training, as we say, correct connection before correction, and actually be curious, not critical, is the same kind of thing. It's like if someone says something, inquire why, start asking questions before you say, no, no, that's not going to work. And so I've taken that from what I learned from Neil, using what I'm learning in care, and actually the team trust now, and I make suggestions that might work. And I think not having years of experience and knowing that I haven't got years of experience has become a bit of a superpower to be able to see things in a way with fresh eyes because I have made suggestions that were a bit daft and we haven't executed on them, but this one seems to be working out pretty well.
No, but that's really good because, yeah, you might make suggestions that to them don't make sense, but you're clearly coming up with ideas that do. And have you been able to get feedback from the children about how they're responding to the changes that are being made?
The children, we're not involving them in this because actually we try and make the homes a home, but the
Yeah,
feedback we've had from the team using it are like,
yeah.
wow, because actually they have to talk to it, so they have to actually use the like part of their brain that's thinking, but also actually use their vocal cords. And so
So this is with the app that you,
with the
yeah,
app,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
you're not involving the children with the app. No, I was wondering if the children were involved with any of the changes that were made in the care homes when you took them over and what
Uh yeah, so we're
sort of
listening.
feedback.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so we've changed. They were quite big on restraint, so we've changed our like because sometimes you do have to hold the kids, and actually
yeah.
it's quite an aggressive way. So we've completely changed that. We've changed some of the menus and food things, so small ideas. Eddie
Mm,
team who've got like what I call a superpower. Like one guy, he's making a zip line in the garden. He's taught the kids how to mow the lawn. So it's like, but another woman is like the best roast dinner cooker ever. So on Sundays, we all know if she's on, everyone's going to get a great dinner. So kind of leaning into what the superpower
mm,
is. One of my team is actually a magician when it comes to interior design. And so she's redone all the homes. So we're trying to listen to the children more. But actually, again, my focus, because I know I don't know much about therapeutic care, is
mm,
about the team. How do I empower the team? Because
mm,
if they're turning up to work happy, confident, excited to be there and feeling really valued and safe, as we say in therapeutic
mm,
care, then the trickle down is to the children. So I'm kind of trying to maybe stay in my lane a bit and do
mm,
empower the managers and give them ways we empower the team. And then that trickles down into
mm.
the children.
And so have you got, going back to the app, big plans for that to roll that out far and wide?
I'm trying not to get too excited, Debbie, but yeah.
think it's
Because,
really possible though, definitely.
well, so there's ways you could go internationally because actually with AI you can change the voices, though different countries have different cultural differences, but
Mm,
also there's a big market in foster care. So
mm,
anyone that's working in our care homes, there's managers and there's supervision, they have to have training and they're on shift with other people. But foster carers, the government's doing a big push on it, and they don't get the same level of training and community. And it's quite lonely and it's quite difficult. And I've been speaking to some care leavers who are now, in their 20s and 30s. And actually, one guy I spoke to was 6 different foster families before
mm,
reasons. And so it's about making that stronger and kind of making this training. So there's that idea as well. So, but first of all, we're just going to start small. We're focusing on the
mm.
children's residential care. But it's feeling like a lot of hard work, but it also feels extremely exciting, and it could be amazing. And we've got this beautiful design. It's just lovely. And yeah, I'm trying not to get too excited. I'm just doing one step
Mm.
at a time, Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, continuity of care has always been the challenge, hasn't it, in the children's care industry? And what other things did you spot when you came into this industry that you thought, I can't believe that's happening? Did you spot other things?
Well, this is probably out of my spec, but the state pays a lot of money to look after these kids because
Mm,
it's the Ofsted, because of all the different things that can go wrong.
mm,
When they turn 16, so they've lived in a home, they go bowling or ice skating, or they get all their food cooked. It's a really wraparound, loving place. At 16, they go to independent living. So basically, they go and live in a little flat on their own. They might be in a house and they live on about 80 quid a week. And
yeah.
that hurts my head. I'm like, wow.
Mm,
We wouldn't do that to our own children, let alone a
no.
child that's had all sorts. Basically, they've all had adults let them down. The adults that should have been there to love and care for them didn't have the skills or resources or the whatever to be able to do that. And so that's the post care, which is sort of not. I've got a few little ideas. I'm speaking to different people. It's a big thing, but
Mm.
that's what I found the most heartbreaking.
And you didn't know about that
No,
until you went into that. Yeah,
no.
it's interesting, isn't it? Because often we go into a different industry and our eyes are just literally wide open with
Mm.
all of the things that are going on that we didn't realize was happening. Um, so
And
what did
also just the sadness of people's lives.
yeah,
Like it's
that's
just
yeah.
we
Listening to those stories must be heartbreaking.
oh, just so heartbreaking, so heartbreaking. Yeah. And you kind of want to help everyone, but what you have to do is just go, I have to help the children here and really help them. And actually, we're not even trying to fix them. We're just trying to be, I see it as like little bits of their jigsaw puzzle of their life.
Mm,
And what we do might not have an effect for 10 or 20 years' time.
mm,
And you can't you can't do a couple of years of love and support and change 12 years of neglect.
mm.
And I think that's the hard thing is we can't fix these kids. We just have to hold them and make them feel safe and be part of their journey.
Yeah, that's a really nice way of putting it. So have they stopped these larger residential homes now completely, or are there still some of those out there?
Oh, I think the largest you'd get these days might be 8 if they were already
Right.
existing and doing an amazing job. 4 is still quite high because you're trying to make them like a home and
Mm,
not keep them institutionalized. And much more than that, it becomes slightly institutionalized as well, I think, because you just have to run it like that. And then also there's quite a few adults in the home.
mm.
So it's not like a home, but we're doing our best. Right.
I didn't know that that was the case, and so I've learned something new today because I just assumed that they still had the traditional um, children's homes that were probably more like a sort of hostel environment,
Mm.
with the dormitories and things. So the fact that they've moved away from that has got to be a good thing, surely.
Yeah, and they are homes. They are like homes, except that we have to have fired shutters, fire doors
Yeah,
at the
so
door, which just
slightly
kills me.
different.
It's a home. It's not institutionalized, and the doors slam shut. But I'm not Ofsted. I can't control that. But
No.
that's probably another of my bugbears. But yeah, that they're homes, and we make them as homely and kind and lovely, and dinners together. But it's not. It's not a big happy. I'm sure. Sorry, all the children are kind of walking their own path. It's,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. It's not all cuddling up on the sofa constantly.
No.
These kids have just got so much stuff, but. Yeah, we're doing well. A couple of children have been moved on because they've gone back to foster placements, or they've left us
Right.
and they've gone on to college. So, and that's hugely rewarding.
And are social services looking at matching the children together in these homes, or do you just get given a list of children you've got to
No,
accommodate?
matching is literally that's
Yeah.
well done on spotting that is the thing. It's absolutely we could look at 100 referrals a day, but it's
Mm.
super important that we match because
Right.
all this work, we create a safe home for say you've got two or three children, and actually the dynamics have to fit. So if so say it was self-harm, so you had a couple of children with a history of self-harm, and you brought someone who was doing current self-harm, and well, you could just disrupt the lives of the three
Yeah.
children. So matching is something that we choose to do. Some people can do it with the local authorities, but we care about our team and we care about the children we've got already, and we have to prioritise them.
Wow. It's a
Yeah,
much more
it's
detailed
really,
process, I think, than people perhaps realize. So I think it's good to share that and so people get a level of understanding of, how amazing the work is that you're doing and how difficult it can be because it is a very delicate balance. So let's go back to your photography days. Are you still doing photography as a passion, as a hobby, or have you put the camera down completely now?
I barely even take pictures on my iPhone.
Oh
Isn't
no.
it saying do something you love when you never work a day in your life? Well, I say
Yeah.
do something you love and you'll stop loving it. So I've taken millions of pictures. I absolutely loved it. But no, that's part of the it's been done now. So I miss I miss the team actually. We had
Mm.
lots of fun. And but I actually am I do like the founder, I do like the starting up, I like the graft at the front rather than the long-term growth. So actually it has all worked out well. But yeah, I do miss the team. We had lots of laughs. It's Carmel Jane photography, but yeah, it's all going well. The person I sold it to them has looked after everyone, grown the business. It's been super wonderful to my team. So that's been good.
Did they retain the name or did they change it?
Yeah, no, I'm still. That's why I'm Carmel Saulbrey on this and not Carmel Jane because
Ah.
he's kept the name. It's got pretty good brand recognition.
Mm.
And also Neil, who bought it, is not precious about that kind of thing. So yeah, it's still Carmel Jane photography, but I'm not really meant to be Carmel Jane anymore.
Oh, bless you. And do you think the awards that you'd won when you came to sell that business really strengthened the offering of what you were selling?
Oh, absolutely. To be an award-winning business. I think I won five in the end. You
Mm.
a couple of Employee of the Year and Business of
Yeah.
the Year. And it's a fun night out, especially when you've got
Mhm.
loads of ladies all getting dressed up in the ball gowns. It also makes you reflect on your business because you have to start going through it. And then to actually be an award-winning business. And I think it does bring recognition because the guy that bought it, I kind of knew through my networks, but it gave real kudos to the business to say it's award winning because you still, you have to enter the awards, but you still have to be
Mm.
good enough business to win them. So yeah, I love it. I don't know if I want to be ready for your awards this year, but I definitely will be on this thing next
Oh,
year.
well, that was going to be my next question. Are you thinking about awards with this new venture?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Around there's not that many awards within the industry, but also awards are really good for recognizing the team.
Mm.
So, when you win the collective awards, it's people love it. They love to be part of something. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of business awards for all the reasons that it says why you should do them. It's brilliant.
So you presumably inherited some staff from the previous company, did you? Or because that company had gone into liquidation, did you start from scratch again?
No, I inherited staff. Some of them are not working there anymore.
Mm.
The reason I actually had an offer to buy them after 5 months.
Okay.
I just about walked away, you know,
Yeah.
not making money, not making a loss. And I didn't because I love my team. I've got some wonderful people in the business. And I kept it because I wanted my gang around me. I wanted my team. And so I've kept really good people. There was a bit of a cultural change to make
Mm.
because, businesses are insolvent for a reason and there's a
Yeah.
negativity when there's no money in the business. And so we've largely turned that around, but it's been harder than I thought it would be. But yeah, I've kept an amazing team and that's kind of why I did it because I love them and we're doing good stuff. And again changed a few people's lives,
Mm.
promotions and things. So yeah.
And then you could think about entering them into Employee of the Year categories and things like that, because a lot of awards have that.
Oh, I
Good.
haven't done that one. It's all about
Yes.
maybe I'll focus on.
Yeah, the Best SME Awards, which is my newest awards. I won't be open
Ah,
again now till next year. We're just about to have the final. We had Best Employee of the Year.
that's a
Uh,
great.
yeah, because I felt like there's people out there just doing their thing. And yes, the business gets recognition or the business owner gets recognition, but how about the people that are behind the scenes? Because you've identified quite a key thing here that it is actually you could have the best leader in the world, but if the staff aren't looked after and aren't given clear direction, then the whole thing doesn't knit together properly, does it?
I love that because it is you need, and even though employing people has got more challenging in recent years,
Yes, I
there's
know.
there's a whole other conversation. But anyway, um, uh, I've got some amazing people who go
Mm,
the extra distance, and then I think you've got additionally in care, people
yeah.
in care, and they do stuff that's hard, and they do it over and over again. So, oh, I'll definitely down for that one.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And reading some of the stories that came in this year, you think, I think as an employee to get that recognition because your boss or your line manager has nominated you for an award adds an extra layer of specialness about it.
Mm.
It kind of is that feeling that you are appreciated for what you do because often people don't appreciate their staff enough. And I think that was one of the things that came across when you won Most Inspiring Businesswoman, that you really did care about your staff and you really cared about the team that you'd built. So I'm guessing you've brought that ingredient to this new venture.
I do. Everyone gets a box of brownies for their birthday, and we get lots of recognition and all that kind of thing. But actually, the day to day, just appreciating people and really
Yeah.
hearing, that what they do is great. So I'm trying my best. And yeah, I've got my senior leadership team in place, and I love them. So right,
Mm.
be on the SME Business Awards for your one.
Next year. Yeah, for sure. And what else is coming in the future? So you've got the app, you've got two children's homes. What's the kind of next couple of years look like for you?
Okay, there's no more businesses, Debbie. I'm just going to close. I think that's enough.
I think it's a
Like,
lot.
saying that, I've got a podcast and I've always wanted to write a book and do a little bit of keynote speaking.
Mm,
And until I did the second business, I possibly had a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like I did it once, but was that just not luck? Because I know I worked really hard, but actually, I really want to take all the lessons that I learned in care and say how it's made me a better leader because there's
mm.
so much crossover. So I think that's probably in the pipelines. But for now, the kindness code and getting that brilliant order. But
Tell us about the podcast. I didn't know you had a podcast. What's it called?
it's just actually going to launch hopefully next week. It's called the Kindness Code. I'm hosting it, and Chelsea Bailey, who's my MD and who's been in the care industry years and years, she's so giving bite-sized tips, and I'm interviewing people in the care sector, so care leavers, because when you hear the stories of people
Mm.
that have been through the system, oh, that's heartbreaking as well. So actually, this is that goes in conjunction with our app, um, sort of further training, further deeper understanding, and yeah, so that's where it all aligns.
Mm. So
But
the audience for that will be people working in the care sector, in the
yeah,
children's.
there's a few that are a little bit businessy, and I actually want this to be more frontline staff that they can hear the stories, they can get the top tips.
Mm.
But yeah, so no, yeah, I forgot about that one as well. So oh,
Oh, well, we'll have to, put all the details in the show notes because by the time the episode airs,
oh
this
yeah,
it will be live.
And
Yeah.
then again, it's funny. Me and Chelsea have got an EA, and she was listening, and she said, oh, "It's made her a better parent because all this therapeutic kindness works for parenting, it works for relationships, it works for leadership." So yeah, really excited about how it's changed me as a person and given me a purpose, that's for sure.
And then what's the book? What's the topic of the book?
The book will be around, I haven't got the title just yet, around the lessons in care that transfer over to, or in therapeutic care and kindness transfers to leadership, and actually the kind leader thing, I think,
Mm.
which given the way the world has changed, and I think people want kindness and they want a purpose. They don't
Mm.
you're not just the boss telling people what to do. I think younger generations want to be valued.
Totally. Absolutely. Well, kindness is the backbone of everything in life, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Oh,
So, so
absolutely.
important. And then you've mentioned about speaking. So what sort of speaking are you planning to do? What topics?
God, you're grilling me today. I mean,
I am.
well, either am I.
Never know who's listening to the podcast, you
I know, I
see.
appreciate this. Well done. If it's talking about the duty and care and the kindness code and how it can make a massive impact on the training and retention of staff, because it's the biggest problem in the industry, getting good staff, training them properly and keeping them. And the other thing is I just want to shout about how I am a better, kinder, more empathetic person and a better, kinder leader. And it's more rewarding. And all these lessons in therapeutic care just transfer over to leadership. And I really want to shout about what I've learned because it's been quite transformational to me.
You are very inspiring,
Oh, thank
which
you.
is why you have the crown of the most inspiring businesswoman. But I
Yeah.
want to end this podcast by asking you one little question. So if someone's listening to this podcast and they feel like they've given what they've given to their industry and their business, and they want to sell it and move on and do something brand new and fresh, completely different, what would your advice be to them?
What about selling or choosing the next business?
Just choosing to do something else. What would your advice be if they're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't know, am I too old to do this? I haven't got any knowledge in this particular industry, but I can see something that I want to do and give up the industry that I know and I've done for many, many years. What would you advise them to do?
Selling a business takes a long time. Get your business ready to sell long before you want to sell it, and be prepared for a painful and challenging situation. It's going to take longer than you think. Then take some time out and really see what you want to do. And I kind of people say, "What will you do?" I said, "Something will happen," and it turned out something did happen. And actually, you have to choose because I tried a few different things and I didn't commit to any of them. And
Mm.
so something comes along, and I think so many of the skills, if you are truly a leader and an entrepreneur, they are transferable. But if you go into something you don't know that you don't know anything and get the right people who do know things to help you.
That is great advice. Absolutely fantastic. So thanks for talking to me today. You are very inspiring and I think what you're doing is incredible and you're making a difference out there. And that's really what life is about, isn't it? It's about building a legacy, helping people in need, and doing something incredible. And you're ticking all of those boxes. So well done.
Thank you, and thank you for all the good work you do, because I think the Women's Awards is just amazing,
Thank you.
and now you got the SME Awards, so watch this space, Debbie.
Yeah,
Soon.
definitely. Well, I think we might be seeing you there next year. I have a feeling. So, if you've been listening to today's episode and you are inspired by the work Carmel is doing, we will make sure all her details are in the show notes, including this new kindness app that she's developing, the kindness code, and her new podcast. And if you're looking for a speaker for an event related to the topics that she's been talking about today, you can get in touch with her and arrange a conversation. So, thank you, Carmel. I wish you continued success with your business. And as I said earlier, I'm sure we're going to be seeing you getting awards for this new business as well. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.